Hello, I'm Papia. In this problem, we have two different functions. F of x is equal to 7 to the power x, is the exponential function, and g of x is logarithm of x base 7. We have to sketch the graph of both functions in the same coordinate plane. So let's start with the first one, the function f. Let's make a table where we plot various x points and then we find the corresponding y points so that we have different points that we can plot. So let's start with, say, x equals, let's start with -2 and then find the value for -1, 0, 1, and 2. So use a graphing utility and find the various values of this function for these different x values. Okay, so let's see. When x is -2, so 7 to the power -2 is approximately 0.02. Then when x is -1, so 7 to the power -1 is about 0.1. For 0, you can see 7 to the power 0 will be 1. Then when you plug in x equals 1, 7 to the power 1 is 7. And when you plug in x equals 2, 7 squared, you know that's 49. So we have some points on that graph. So we can just plot them and we'll join and we'll get our graph. But before we do that, let's figure out the same for this next function, g. So we also want to make a table. Now, instead of using a graphing utility, you can find out these values pretty simply. Notice that g is just the inverse of f. And so to get the points on this graph, you just have to switch the x and y from the previous table. So what I mean by that is you just flip the values. So in this case, for the first value, when x is 0.02, y will be -2. And you can do the same thing for the rest of the values. So when the values that we got for f, the values that are y values, here they will become the x values. Okay, so write down the entire row for y here for x. So next we'll have 0.1, 1, 7, 49. And the corresponding y values will be the x values for the function f. So -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. All right, so we have two sets of tables. We just plot these points and we'll get our graph. Okay, so let's start by graphing the function f. Okay, so let's mark this -1, -2, -3, and so on. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10. Now notice that for f, the y value is going up to 49. So what we can do is we can just go with the step of 1 and then we can break and then we can put 49 above, high up there. So it's not up to the scale, but you understand 49 will be pretty high up. Now for the second table is the same idea. See, the x value is getting pretty high, up to 49. So we can do the same thing with the x-axis. We put a break here and we can put 49 somewhere here, say. Okay, because we will need to plot that point. So same with the y values. Let's just go with 1, 2. Let's go with a step of 1 and then we have a break and then say 49 is somewhere up here. All right, so let's start with plotting the function f. So the first point is x equals -2 and y is equal to 0.02. So when x is -2, y is very, very close to x-axis. All right. Now, next point, -1.1. Again, at -1, the point is above 0.02, but still pretty close to x-axis. Okay. At 0, we have 1. So this is 0. So this is the point. At 1, we get 7. So 1 is 7. It's going pretty high up. And at 2, it goes to 49. So you can see that 7 to the x looks like approximately. So you join all these points. So it will get very close to x-axis and then it will jump up. And you see, it will go on and then keep going. All right, so that's 7 to the x. So let's plot g. Remember, it's the inverse of 7 to the x. So this is the logarithm function. So these are the points. So see, the first point is when x is 0.02, y is -2. So x will be 0.02, which is very close to origin, and y is -2. So this is -1, -2. So you get the point is very, very close to y-axis. Next, when x is 0.1, y is -1. So again, 0.1 is also very close to the origin, and y is going to be -1, which is right here. Okay, continue. Third point is 1, 0. So at 1, the graph will cross x-axis. 1, 0. At 7, y is 1. So x is 7, y is 1. Somewhere here. And then when x is 49, y becomes 2. So go all the way up to 49 and y is 2. So about this point. Okay, so you join these points and you get the graph of the logarithm function. So let's see. So this direction, as you can see, that logarithm will keep on going. The function graph will be down here, then it will cross these points, and then keeps on going and cross that point. So this is the graph of the logarithm function base 7, and this is 7 to the x. Notice that they are inverse to each other. As you can see, they are mirror images of each other, where the mirror, if you imagine, is the line y equals x. So we have the graphs of both f and g. Thank you.